Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Ken and Ibrahim, for joining us today. We had a great skill exchange webinar last week, which was about Adobe Commerce B2B Excellence. And we had shared some of the practices and real experiences there. We're going to quickly walk you through about the details. But there are two more things we want to discuss additionally, apart from that webinar that we haven't discussed that there is how a B2B brand or any brand can make their system enough capable so that they can do other Adobe product integrations, and also they can be flexible to change their measure of the integrations as and when needed, right? So as journey goes on, a lot of AI based features are coming in the third party complementary integrations also, right? So and at some point of time brand need to be optimistic to adapt those features, right? So we're going to talk about those also, and these are the two things. So first, I would ask, this is the higher level agenda of our webinar. First, I would ask Ibrahim to introduce himself here.
Also, thank you. So I'm Ibrahim and Mbithi, and I work as a global solution owner and lead digital commerce at Mananamo. And I was also I'm part of the Adobe Commerce champion class, which ended.
Yeah,
And I'm also a filtration ambassador. I talk about these topics of filtration, innovation in our company as part of a community. I've been in the industry for about 15 or so years, mainly in direct to consumer, business to consumer, and also digital product building, management, sales, tech, and also different industries like automotive or healthcare and consulting, and also done some startups. So I also help in strategy and digital transformation. And besides that, I'm also a dad and love running and reading nonfiction books. Yeah.
that's a great intro, Ibrahim.
Mm.
So about me, I'm also one of the Adobe champion and APAC user group leader. With that, I do also a lot of in-person and virtual Adobe Commerce centric events. And at my job, I am a tech lead for Adobe Enterprise Practices, where I help like brand and businesses to get their technical capabilities and business outcomes. And those are the things I'm working on. And today I will be sharing about how businesses can meet the raising buying expectations. We see a lot of abandoned cart, we see a lot of decisions getting changed, and people are losing interest about purchasing something, right? So there are some common pitfalls that we have previously discussed, and we are going to discuss today also here. So this is a one of like you can scan my LinkedIn if you're not connected. I guess for everyone joining the call is connected here. And about the webinar, like Gaby has shared the link also of the like skill exchange expert webinar. So post this particular uh, like event, we can go and just recap that webinar also as and when needed. So moving ahead with the B2B landscape and customization trap that we have talked there, as we have seen that B2B business is becoming a like great market opportunity. It is more than a multi-trillion opportunity currently right now, right? And it is growing so expansively. And a lot of B2B business are evolving. They are bringing a lot of unique customizations and unique way to deliver the personalized experience for their businesses. So in these years, a lot of things has been happen to match the customers' expectations in the digital purchase journeys, right? And as we also see that how the expectation in the digital experience is getting evolved. So here are some of the numbers, right? That how people are interacting and expecting a B2B store or B2B business to behave and work in a manner so their lives get easy, right? And in a B2B business, majorly, what the Forrester and McKinsey report says that major of the B2B buyers and decision makers are from the millennials, right? And they are taking the all the decisions, and like natively all the millionaires are already digitally enabled and daily they work in a digital world, so they want the same experience what they have daily in their digital experience life, same experience they expect into the stores they are working in or platform they are playing with daily, right? So these are the things. And Ibrahim, you can put some
Yes.
light here. Yeah.
Yes. So the big question is usually what do B2B customers expect today? And we know that all the B2B buyers expect the B2C grade experiences. That's the speed, the convenience, the transparency, and also this should be tailored to their industry. So the most important things are split into four. So we have, you need the catalog access. This is the instant access to specific catalogs available from any device. And then this should also be followed by the absolute transparency. So B2B buyers expect full visibility into the stock levels, is it contract specific pricing? And then the third thing is the easy discovery. It should be easy to be found, search on the catalog or
Hmm.
on the shop
Yeah.
itself, and also outside of that, is on the search engines or the LLMs. And then the last part, it's the self-service autonomy. And this is very important for the users to have what they're used to. They don't need to call a key account manager or something like that. They would like to do
Yeah.
it themselves and have the same workflows or the quotes or the different requisition lists to have that already put into the system, and they can do this on their own. So we're moving in that direction overall in the B2B customer experience.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then that also brings us obviously to the issue of the expectation gap. So we see that well, the severe disconnect between what the modern buyers expect and what the legacy B2B channels could deliver. So we could look at this more from the three areas. So the B2C standard of retail, think of the experience you have on Amazon. It happens instantly, seconds to check out. There's clear transparent pricing, and it's 100% self-service. And then when it comes to the B2B, we have kind of, there are large organizations and you have clear friction there. We have silos, we have some debt on how to handle that. And the prices have to be very specific for each customer. It's not like in Amazon, whereby almost every customer receives the same price. And then you look at the platform again, it must be self-explanatory. So this is the gap that you have to solve with a B2B a
Right.
solution. And because you look at the B2B legacy, and the reality is it takes time to get these contracts signed. The negotiations are long. You have many departments, many people involved. It's very
Hmm.
fragmented, a lot of paper. So the impact is the whole thing is just too administrative and you lose momentum and it makes it very difficult to execute.
Right. Yeah. And what we also see that like to to bridge the expectations gap and to like fulfill the requirement what B2B buyers have and to match the deadline, what one thing I have seen constantly is like whether it's a partner or business, they just start building things, right? Let's say they get requirement and they just start building without properly planning or without optimizing the current platform where they are, and it continuously increasing the technical debt. I have seen a great B2B stores getting built and running smoothly, but have being in a lower version of the commerce, right? And it's not upgradable, right? So like they are getting constant support, but a latest dependency are not included, or latest, let's say, version is not updated. So one of the topic, as we said initially in the discussion, that we want to discuss that how everyone can keep their system or keep their like store flexible for third party integrations, or for complementary integration, or let's say want to retire some systems, or also want to do the, like, let's say, third party Adobe integrations in their journey, right? Let's say someone is only having commerce into the picture, and at the longer run, they want to adapt the content also. They want to adapt the analytics. They want to start with the tracking. They want to do the journey building, right? So these are the things, I think, Ibrahim, we can take an opportunity and start discussing about this here only, right? So if I say about how someone can, like, I'll just move the slide, so keeping it simple. So let's say how someone or how any business can make their system upgradable or ready for the future or ready to scale. So one thing is, what I would say is, the first thing is the ownership, right? They should take ownership and they should take their online platform seriously. And it's not a one-time build. They have to continuously maintain and uh, keep seeing that how they can do the, like, how they can minimize their offline operations and make them online. It is 100% possible that all the features which are available out of the box by the product are not utilized, and by utilization of some of the features, things can get easy, right? They can definitely onboard some of the customization, life can get better, and also manual processes will be stopped. I have seen in a lot of B2B stores that in the heading only, in the they are just writing the phone number, that if you want to order something, just do it. And constantly the operational guy are being so busy, right? Even though after having the store, they are not like, things are not automated. It's dependent on the person who is attending the call or who is helping for the manual works, right? So to avoid these things and keep system sustainable, stable, upgradable, and scalable, one thing in 2026 someone can do is bring the out of process extensibility, right? Start using of Adobe App Builder, which is there to integrate with third-party system and to move some of their business logics out of process, out of Adobe Commerce. So if the system is still monolithic, then definitely brands are losing a lot of things, and there will be a lot of things will be challenging in future, right? So they should start thinking to adapt the event driven architecture. Let's say something is happening into their B2B store, right? Another decision is getting taken synchronously, asynchronously in outer system, right? And making the platform so native and, so smooth that everyone feels that they are surfing offline, right? So these are two of the things. And to make the system flexible about the third party integrations, right? We all know that there are a lot of operations that has happened directly without use of message queue or without having use of cron, right? Every B2B system will have a lot of like every enterprise B2B system will have a lot of third party integrations like ERP, CRM, PIM, WMS, and etc., right? So to have those all operations asynchronous will help them to make the system flexible and things work smoothly in background, because every day thousands and millions of product price get updated. A lot of REST APIs call happen synchronously. I have seen more than 1 lakh calls happening in a day synchronously, right? So we need to see technically that how we can breeze the particular solutions by making it asynchronous, that happens behind the scenes smoothly. And also, we know that how being a headless and being like available in server side is important for business, right? So always try to see whether they are taking the full experience in the headless ecosystem using the GraphQL, or like some of the operations, some of the custom solutions, or some of the custom experience in the headless manner. So if brands start thinking in this direction, that will be definitely make their store future ready and upgradable. And we are also constantly see a lot of notices are coming every month. There will be a patch coming up from the Adobe side to update their like stores, right? But people are avoiding that and taking it for granted. So if you are B2B business, I would definitely recommend you to pay attention towards that and take those all the notification like seriously and attend them. And now I'd like Ibrahim to share his perspective on these things.
Yeah, thank you, Manav. Yeah, so if I was to say something about these two topics, so I'll start with the Adobe, the product integrations. How we can make the upgrade easy and
Mm-hmm.
seamless. So the first point I would say is when you have a system that has let's say you have it's headless, you have the front end, and you also have the back end, the commerce engine. So you should treat, let's say if you're using AEM as a decoupled
Yeah.
presentation layer, and then the commerce engine will be purely the headless commerce engine. And so the content assets and the rich layouts kind of live in the AEM, and then we have the transactional capability exposed cleanly via, say, GraphQL or whatever
Mm-hmm.
REST APIs you're using. And then if you follow that decoupled headless approach, the separation makes the upgrading quite easy. So that's easy, and there will be no refactoring needed. And then the second
Yeah.
part is the API mesh or the app builder that you mentioned. I think instead of writing, say, heavy in process PHP customization inside the command system, we route the events and orchestrate these through some other tools. So we could offload the business routes outside the core
Mm-hmm.
applications, the databases, and we just keep the core clean. And this makes it easy to patch the system, run these core updates very easily, and also it's very safe if you even have a middleware layer, so it's kind of separated. And then there's a
Great.
part on if you were to manage the B2B logic, you avoid this customization trap that Manav talked about. So you could adhere to this sort of B2B requirements decision tree we mentioned during our webinar. So before writing every single line of code, you could evaluate, can, at the Adobe Commerce and the out of the box do this? If yes, you could configure and deploy just a native functionality. Could be the approval workflows or the company accounts or requisition list or whatever. And then
Yeah.
in a second, you could ask, oh, do we have an extension for this? Or do we need one? And then you buy one because there's a marketplace where you can get those. And then there's a last resort. If the custom development is something you have to do, then in this case, you probably need to build some microservices or something. So that is one area of how to deal with this topic and to make upgrading very easy. And obviously, if you are using other different systems that are involved there, it could be a
Mm-hmm.
CRM, it could be the ERP, all these things. Well, you probably need also to build the integrations and have the clear roles for the storefront events, map the different roles, and make sure that that is working and they're all decoupled so that one event or upgrade of one system will not affect the other. So that is my take on the first topic of upgrading. Then the second topic of
Mm-hmm.
integrations and say the architecture flexibility. You have the ERP, I said, there are some
Mm-hmm.
dependencies that do not necessarily affect your storefront. So if you're using your PIM and we have the contract pricing, the inventories residing in the ERP, but you have the product data in the PIN, both of them could be connected, say, with a platform integration or a middleware that could be the asynchronous integration layer, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. So these are some ways that you could help tackle that part of that party integration. And then there is also the topic of whether you choose a middleware, like direct API calls. So I think the good thing about the way we've seen with the Commerce Cloud is you have received the
Mm-hmm.
integration framework, the commerce integration framework. So that makes it, if you have if AEM is your front end, so it will be very easy for you to make those calls directly, and you kind of separate. This is the headless approach we talked about. And then obviously the other part that adds flexibility is just the way you deliver the whole project, So you say, you need to work in an agile delivery or Scrum collaboration or whichever
Mm-hmm.
methodology you are using, or even if it's Kanban. So you organize this in across teams, that are dealing with specific products. And we have domain experts. We could have the agency partners or integrated, working seamlessly together, and
Yeah.
focus on delivering your minimum viable product of MVP, which is just around reducing or solving a particular problem. And you need to have a hypothesis before you start, so that you will know up to what point in time will I have, figured out how we solve this particular problem. So at least that's my take on those two questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And Ibrahim, also, can you give some light on like after adapting like another content system, right? How it is helping and how it is making the journeys and user flow smooth for the B2B brand you are working with, right? So that will be great add on that. Like by making the system decoupled, what are the ROIs and what are the like ease of use we are seeing here?
I think for, when we were talking about you have first of all the infrastructure itself, and you have done that. But I think you should
Hmm.
you obsess more about the problem that we are trying to solve.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the problem we are solving, I mean, there are some key areas or things we are looking at. So, in the case of a customer portal, we have to be looking at the the traction. It's measuring the active users, how many are requesting, or customers requesting to use the portal. If we're inviting particular customers, how are we able to deal with them? And then the
Hmm.
last bit is obviously we're looking at the what we call the key metrics of the CSC, or the cost of customer acquisitions. Looking at that, how easy is
Hmm.
it, or as much as it would it cost to onboard a customer or acquire a customer. And then we're looking at the lifetime customer value,
Hmm.
the LTV. Those are things that inform us or whether we're moving in the right direction. But because it's an MVP, obviously, with an
Yeah.
MVP, you want to learn, test first and then learn and then
Yeah.
move very quickly. And
Hmm.
having a system that allows this, launching a storefront, if you look at the possibilities that exist, you look at the ability to have a storefront in one language, just roll that to another market. That makes it also very easy for us. Those are some things we're looking at. And then we're looking at also the processes that you're automating. So with all these
Hmm.
out of the box, um, features, it makes it, you don't need to program that directly. They are
Hmm.
there, we just need to configure them and hit the ground running and
Yeah.
solving the particular problem. So these are some of the things that we are looking at. But obviously this is all about one thing that I wish we had we had in the platform, was the ability for us to see which features are being used the most by the customers. I mean, because sometimes
Yeah.
you activate a feature, but you don't know. You created a requisition list, but you're just
Yeah.
not able to know how many users or how many customers are using this. So
Yeah.
this is the kind of feedback that I think it could be very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we see there are a lot of enterprise feature out there in Adobe Commerce B2B, whether it's related to company management or company account, when someone want to organize the structures and purchasing teams and roles and permissions and approval force. So there are highly mature features available. Shared catalogs is also there, and that can be used for product assortment and contractual pricing and controlled product visibility. That generally people wants to have the personalized experience at a scale. And as you talk about, there is a requisition list, there is a quick order, purchase order is there, which every B2B business will have, that streamlines the purchasing flows and procurement workflows, right? So there are a lot of smaller features are also there, and other features as we have mentioned here, right? Negotiation pricing is also there. So there is a lot of things to adapt. Like what is important, I would say here is not adapting a one single feature here. It should be about being aware about the capabilities of the platform which are there, and making things sure and discover it properly, that how you can get the most out of it and how the particular workflow fit into your B2B experience that you desire and that you understand, that can help you to scale your particular B2B business. And with that also, I want to take opportunity to ask you, Ibrahim, that with your multi decades of your experience, you might have done a lot of digital transformations, right? You might have adapted many third-party integrations and might have done a lot of changes into the platforms. So, what are the key things that make you feel that okay, now I need to think about the transformation about particular things, or how do you get the direction? That I want to understand with your pure perspective here.
Yeah, I think good question. I think when I look at any transformation, you could say that it involves around three or so areas. So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, we usually start with the people. Very important part, and
Yeah.
you have to carry the people with you because if
Mm-hmm.
you do not have the people having, yeah, I think you it's gonna be a bit difficult. And then it's the second part is usually the technology itself. So the technology, you got have a solid platform that can help you build the features or solve the particular problem that you have, because the foundation you will build, should be very strong, and so it will help you obviously, build a product and approach the customers or the different business units. So it helps you, at least it should cover at least the basics of what you have within the organization. And then
Mm-hmm.
the last bit, look at in our transformation, then it's the processes you're building. um, like we saw, what we're seeing here is essentially it's a mapping of how you could deal with a customer. So, you know, if it's a large organization, it could have the headquarters in, let's say, here in Germany, where I'm based out, and then we have it has different locations, in different countries, different markets. And
Mm-hmm.
when they're ordering, you need to build to map all that within your organization. So the company account, the different shared catalogs. So you have to customize all that. You have to build that within the different systems that you have within the organization, the ERP, the CRMs. It could be
Mm-hmm.
Teams and whatnot. So you could say you need to focus in those three areas. And obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I've been involved in a couple of transformations. You're right,
Yeah.
and I've seen that. It comes down to obviously having also the buy-in of the senior
Mm-hmm.
leadership of the organization. They
Mm-hmm.
gotta remain behind the transformation itself, and then once you got that, you also have to explain the people the why you are doing it. So
Yeah.
why do you need a new portal or a new web shop? The why has to be
Yeah.
very strong.
Exactly.
And you need also champions within the organization that are going to be talking about these topics, and kind of
Yeah.
getting the
Mm-hmm.
followers behind them, so that it's like evangelizing the topic, or you could say, yeah. So and then the other thing is, obviously, you need to also very quickly demonstrate results, because
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing any transformation
Yeah.
costs money. and resources for the organization. And it's very important that you quickly demonstrate some quick wins, which is
Yeah,
why then here we talk about the minimum viable product or the MVP approach, whereby you could identify a particular problem, then you build a hypothesis and have an objective and quickly show some quick results after you invested certain capital, because the investors, the shareholders, the stakeholders want to see some
hmm,
results. So I
yeah.
think that you have to balance out very very. It's like a balancing act doing any transformation in any organization.
Definitely, and also what I feel like is along with these things, also the key platform, which we are working in, it also need to be capable enough to drive the transformation and to adapt the change, right? And how we see that how Adobe Commerce is differentiating itself by having the upgradability, extensibility that we talked in starting of the call. We do have the personalization capabilities and like AI based search, which is there even though the boom before the AI. Adobe Sensia is there is from many years, right? We do have live search, product recommendation, intelligent merchandising, and a lot of things to personalize the user experience into the journey, right? It is also capable enough to have your data connected within the Adobe Enterprise Cloud and within the Adobe ecosystem. Also, it has the unified data system that can be easily get integrated with any third-party customer journeys, whether it's related to any EMS or any marketing journey, right? And also, one more important thing is it is a lot scalable compared to other e-commerce platform I would have ever seen, right? It can go to multi-site, multi-brand, multi-region, multi-customer segment, multi-pricing, multi-business model, and variations of all the things. And a lot of continuous innovations are also happening, whether it's the EDS, commerce storefront, whether it's related to brand visibility or like content visibility, or whether it's related to conversational commerce. A lot of infinite things are also continuously happening, right? So, and it is also helpful, that how it is empowering businesses and everyone who is there into ecosystem, that everyone is getting something to learn about, right? So in this particular slide, you can see that there are listed features and listed things to learn for the marketers in the left side, and in the right side there are technical features that are for like tech team or architects or developers that can adapt and start using it. And everything is connected with the data. With the middle layer, we see there is an event-driven architecture. There are smooth journeys that can get onboarded, right? There is a data layer already there. So a lot of things are there, and like a lot of models are there. And if I have to say about Adobe Commerce particularly, so it fits to like any e-commerce model. Like, so brand can bring any model, and there is a one platform called Adobe Commerce, right? So this is what I feel, Ibrahim. And at this point, I think, Ibrahim, we can take some question if someone can, if people can raise their hands, and like they can put the questions into the like chat if they have, right? And we can also continuously take that. Yeah, Ibrahim.
You are muted.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I think it's very important to understand that there are very many ways of tackling a problem, but you have to be very specific on what is the most effective way of solving a particular challenge. And I think it's for us, it's in our organization, man and Hamel. It's we have the beat way thinking, and it's we act from the future. So we normally say we want to identify a particular challenge. We know where we want to get, and then we try to work from the future backwards. It's It's the way we operate, and our business environment. It's in the filtration, and customers really love speed, and we need to deliver these very high quality solutions. And you could say that to enhance the performance of the engines of the the lifetime of the equipment, this requires us to solve the problems that the customers have. So I think this is what we did in building our portal, and that's what we presented last week. So if you have any questions, obviously you can ask me or ask Manav, and we can try to answer your questions. Yeah.
This is Ken. Human Security, the company I work for, primarily works with B2C e-commerce companies. We're a silver technology partner with Adobe. We provide visibility into customer journeys, including humans, bots, agentic agents, and LLMs. And we can share that data in the Adobe environment in AEP for use in Adobe applications. So I'm not as familiar with B2B because we're primarily B2C focused. But one of the things we do is provide visibility into those agentic agents and LLMs. And I'm just wondering, since I don't have a lot of experience with B2B, how are you seeing agentic agents and LLMs showing up in the B2B environment?
This is a good question, Ken. In our case, we are obviously we know that agentic commerce is going to be the future, and we are monitoring the space. We start for us. We're looking at the different web analytics tools we have. The Adobe Analytics, and we are seeing that the number of people that are finding their way to our B2B shops has been on the rise. It's increasing, and we are able to monitor that. And how are we tackling this? I think we've just come together, and we started small. So the first thing we do is we're looking at, it starts with I think it's SEO. You need to be discovered. It's a search engine optimization, or we're calling it a generative engine optimization, as they're calling it now. And right here, they're looking at a couple of things. Yeah, at least that's how we started looking at. There's something they call the LLMs evaluating expertise. So with expertise in our organization, we do have the community, we have the filtration ambassador program. So we do have our experts coming from the filtration solutions we build, active on social media, on different platforms, and sharing knowledge. And obviously, this is also helping to build, traffic. So I'm talking more about the outbound strategies, and then we're also looking at, the authority, because the authority, it's more about getting also our platform linked from different locations, being the authority in a topic. We are one of the leaders in filtration. So you're looking at that, and this is it's just we are testing and learning. But I have to say that from a technical perspective, this is an area we are right now exploring and seeing how we want to structure the sites themselves, and also how we want to have our PIM to be discovered by the LLMs, because I mentioned that we have the catalog. The future or the success will depend on whether the actual data of the products that we have within the PIM could be discovered by the LLMs. So we are exploring, talking to certain partners to see how they can help us to expose the content within the PIM into the LLMs. So I think this is also an area we are looking at. I don't know, Madam, if you like to add something, how you're seeing that space evolve.
So what I see like in future is definitely everyone will be purchasing or taking the buying decision using the conversational commerce, just having their mobile that
particularly user will be sharing that like just order this particular experience like SKUs 10 times, like I want this 10 SKU, this 10 SKUs and this 10 products, and their catalog is getting fulfilled, and that way the purchase orders and things are happening. That I see in coming future in the agentic experience or in the conversational commerce, right? How AI intelligently understand the intent of the user and preparing the catalog, and adding those particular things in cart, and having the awareness that okay, this is the primary address of the user, and I need to, like, primary location of the buyer is purchasing, and this how it should go. That way it can happen. Also, if the like intelligence can be bring up to the like making awareness if the approvals are not happening from some user frequently, or like to fasten up the journeys in the B2Bs also, right? And that way it can be helpful, I would say. Also the uh, like dedicated conversational agents for particular experiences, not just related to shopping experience into B2B, but other experience also. Let's say someone is having the doubt in B2B. Generally what I have seen is like user is directly calling to support that I want to do this, I'm not familiar with this, right? So the platform should be self-educative, and there is someone kind of AI kind of things that can help them to drive the business, right? And give the breakthrough to the new user who are there into system, right? So that way I see. Yeah.
Are B2B companies exposing their product catalog, or does that sit in their portal? And if it does, how does that affect their visibility in LLM prompts? So are they like providing feeds to the LLMs, the catalog feeds, in order to become visible rather than through crawling?
Uh,
So that also, yeah, that's a good thing. It's before Ibrahim say, it's also depend on the business whether they want their catalog to be synchronized in the LLMs or not, right? If they do have strict governance that they don't want their LLMs to be catalogs to be synchronized in the LLMs, then it can be avoided, and that will be anyways avoided, right? But if they want, and they want the catalog to be visible for the new businesses out there, and if it is a multi-vendor or multi-business things, and they want to onboard and show catalog for the non-login users also, then in that case it can happen definitely, I would say. What you were speaking, Ibrahim?
no, I wanted to mention that, I mean, how the catalog discovery or the product detail pages of the products in the catalog. In B2B, we have, several scenarios. So we have a scenario whereby we have, in B2B, businesses don't disclose their prices. So
Yeah.
you find that a part of the catalog that is crawlable is probably the description, the title, the SKU number, so that the customers could use it. That part is being exposed, and we are obviously, for visibility, we are, relying on the content be crawlable, the TXT the files being accessible by the bots. That part is working. So that's a past scenario. And then the second scenario is the one whereby you could say that you don't want the products to be visible to the outside world. It's a closed portal. If you're talking about existing customers that you just don't want, for what some reasons or the other, this information to be accessible to anyone. In this case, obviously, this is like a paywall. You're not exposed to the outside world. And I mean, this is just a matter of the strategy that the organization is pursuing. And this is, I think, for us, we'll say that it's very important to have both approaches, and then you have to figure out what type of a customer journey. Start with the customer that you're talking about. If these are existing customers, you probably put them on a portal which is enclosed. If it is you want to acquire new business, you probably need to have a catalog exposed to LLMs for discovery. So it comes down to the business model, and also, yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you, guys. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for asking a resourceful question. I would say that made us think about things. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Ken. If anyone else having any questions, it is a good time to ask before we wind up the call.
Okay, I have a questions. I am like Ken. Most of my work was depend on B2C. I am exploring currently B2B platforms and their worlds. And actually, I had a meeting with one of the big retailers in Egypt, and he mentioned something that I will explain, and you can take out the scope of this option. He told
Okay.
me a case like COVID, when it happened, there is people who took the stock of tissue or anything related to health care or hygiene and so on. And he told me, if I put B2B into the world, and as Ken said, there is agentic AI, LLMs, and there is people that abuse this technique to reserve all the stocks in such academic or a problem in the country, how he deal with such a situation. So it's about how he will protect his stock in situation where this stock is become valuable.
Okay. So if I want to start with this, first is having the intelligence system, okay, that make him aware about the stock status, also making him aware about the things happening in the region, okay, that okay, this is something happening and we do have a warehouse at this particular coordination. And if it is definitely whatever the case you have said, it's about MSI and multi-source inventory. So where let's say the coordinate is there, automated information will be passed to the particular owner, automated notifications from the server side, that okay, these are the things that need to be paying attention, whether it's related to any disaster or attention happening in any region, right? And making the owner aware that okay, this is the thing happening into your region, right? And okay, this is the particular warehouse from where the warehouse, where near the key warehouse things are happening, and you need to take a decision to manage your inventory from another warehouse, whether you move these particular things from here or accommodate other inventories into the another warehouse, right? So that decisions definitely will come with the B2B expertise, and the human will get involved there. But to have the awareness about the current warehouse, how they are behaving, how much percentage of utilization, and how the data is flowing from particular warehouse, it is very important, I would say, Ibrahim, here, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, what one more thing, Ibrahim, here is to have the multi-region server strategies. Okay, multi-geolocation server strategies. That is important. So let's say something is happening, not related to COVID, but something else. Then also your business should have the scalability for multi-region. If some it is like the currently where the platform is hosted, if the server get down, then there should be a strategy that can adapt the latest particular server, okay, or let's say a nearby server which can be helpful, right? And every region will have their data sharing possibility, like governance and policies also, right? So in these particular cases, if you want to make your online business or B2B business or B2C business up, right, then in certain cases you need to violate those policies and have your data into another region from where your store can be up for certain time, for certain period of time, right?
Yeah.
And if the delays are happening, right, let's say near to one warehouse there are like order already get decided, then they have to decide, like update those purchase requests manually and map them with the particular shipments. Let's say even shipment is created, they have to edit those shipments and update the things into the platforms that okay, particular product won't get delivered from the particular inventory source. Now we have to deliver it through the other source, and making the user, whether it's a B2B and B2C, aware about things constantly that okay, this is getting delayed with this particular reason, right? Right. So this is about the whole journey, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
I get
Ibrahim,
it.
if you do have anything to add on this thing, Ibrahim and Mbithi. Yeah, you are on mute first of all.
Oh yes, I think you've answered the question. I think all I would say is that I think our the ability to have to respond, have servers located in different locations so that you can respond to loads of traffic from different regions or balance that out. So this is a very core capability that every application should have, and we saw that during COVID, like you mentioned, and this was definitely a testing experience for many systems. I was at an organization at the time where we had been doing the transformation earlier on for the years before COVID hit, and as soon as the COVID hit, we just saw the traffic go through the sky, and the transformation happened. You know, the sales we were just in a category that was kind of favored by what was happening at the time, and we saw quite a massive transformation for that particular organization during the time in terms of sales. And I think so it helps to have a scalable infrastructure.
Okay, I
Great.
get it.
Yeah. Hope you got some more idea, Ibrahim, here.
Yes, I get the
What
great
we said.
ideas actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we are open to take the last question of the day, and post that we can definitely uh, wind up the call. And you guys can always reach out to us in our social platforms, and always check. I would highly recommend to check the recording of our P2P Excellence sessions, which happened last week. So yeah, one question, and then we can wind up.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess there is a no question,
Over mine.
and I would highly appreciate everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for providing your time here, and keep joining us. We're gonna keep producing the new content, and we're gonna keep sharing with each other here. This is a community, and this is our community that we have to grow and maintain continuously. So, thank you for joining us today's Ask the Expert session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you also from my side. It's been great having you around. And if you have any questions, you know where to connect with us. Find me on LinkedIn. Manav is also on LinkedIn. And yeah, thank you very much and have a great day.